She recognized him before he recognized her. That was always the way it worked between them. She had always been more certain, more willing to acknowledge the fact of him. He caught up eventually. He always did. He was standing at the bar of the inn with his coat still damp from the rain, looking at the window the way people look at windows when they have accepted that they are not going anywhere. She ordered her wine and said his name. The storm had come from the west at 4 in the afternoon with no real warning, the kind of weather that arrives before anyone has thought to check a forecast. The road back to the city was flooded by 5. The inn had 3 rooms left. They had each taken one, separately, without yet knowing the other was there. The inn was old and warm and smelled of wood smoke and something baked. The dining room had low beams and uneven floors and candles and amber glass on every table. Outside, the rain struck the windows in long, insistent waves. Inside, the lights stayed golden and the fire did not go out. It was the kind of night that does not belong to ordinary time. They had met 2 years ago, at a mutual friend's wedding in the country. She remembered the way he stood at the edge of the reception, not uncomfortable, just separate, watching, and she'd introduced herself because she was curious about people who watched rather than performed. They'd talked for 2 hours, maybe 3. Then the weekend ended and they'd gone back to their lives, and the moment had sealed over like water after a stone. But she had thought about him, not constantly. The way you think about a song you can't quite remember, reaching for it at odd moments, finding only the impression of it. They sat down to dinner and started where they'd left off. That was the remarkable thing. There was no recalibration, no warm-up period of pleasantries. 2 years dissolved in a sentence. He told her about the year he'd had. She told him about hers. They did not rush any of it. The storm kept time for them, and the storm was in no hurry. At some point, the dining room emptied around them. The fire burned lower. The innkeeper brought a second bottle without being asked and left them to it. "I thought about that weekend," he said, simply, not as a confession, more as an observation, offered to see what she would do with it. "So did I," she said. He looked at her the way he had looked at the window earlier, with the patience of someone who has accepted that they are exactly where they are meant to be. Outside, the rain did not stop. The road stayed closed. The night stretched out ahead of them, unhurried and unbounded, full of nothing but time and firelight and the particular electricity of 2 people who have finally stopped pretending they don't feel it. She reached across the table. He turned his hand over. She said, "Tell me something that you've never told anyone." He smiled, slow and real, the kind of smile that changes a face. And he did. Have you ever had a moment like this? Unexpected, unplanned, but somehow exactly right? Tell me about it in the comments. End, approx.